If you are a service member preparing for deployment, an extended assignment, or a period when you will be away from your normal residence, a power of attorney is a document you should not leave until the last minute. It can allow someone you trust to handle important matters on your behalf while you are unavailable, including financial accounts, housing, vehicles, insurance, government matters, and certain legal or contractual responsibilities. But because this document gives another person legal authority to act for you, you need to be very careful about who you appoint, what powers you grant, what limitations you impose, and how the document is executed. So let's go through this power of attorney step by step, starting with the principal and agent information and continuing all the way to the witnesses and notary section. Principal or service member information. The first part identifies the person who is granting the power of attorney. The full sample is, I, Michael James Carter, born on March 14, 1992, currently serving as captain in the United States Army, with service/member identification number 482739196, hereby appoint. This section identifies the principal, which in this example is the service member. When completing this section, enter the service member's full legal name, date of birth, rank or grade, military branch, and any identification information that is actually required. This information is important because the document must clearly establish who is granting the authority. Accurate identification also helps banks, government agencies, businesses, and other organizations determine whether the person presenting the document is acting under valid authority. From a legal perspective, sensitive identification numbers should only be included when necessary and when permitted by the applicable form or authority. The exact requirements can vary depending on the jurisdiction and military circumstances. Agent information. The next part identifies the person receiving the authority. The full sample is Sarah Elizabeth Carter, spouse, 1847 Maple Ridge Drive, Alexandria, Virginia, 22314, United States, phone number 703-555-0184. Email address sarah.carter@example.com. As my lawful attorney in fact or agent to act on my behalf with respect to the matters and responsibilities described in this power of attorney. Here, we identify the agent. In this example, Sarah Elizabeth Carter, who is the service member's spouse. You should provide the agent's full legal name, relationship to the service member, complete address, phone number, and email address. This information is important because the agent may need to prove their identity and communicate with banks, landlords, insurance companies, government agencies, or other organizations. Remember, an attorney in fact does not necessarily mean an attorney or lawyer. It refers to the person authorized to act on behalf of the principal. Legally, you should appoint someone you completely trust, because this person may receive significant authority over your affairs. Section 1. Purpose of this power of attorney. The full sample is 1. Purpose of this power of attorney. I am granting this power of attorney because I will be deployed overseas for military duties and may be unable to personally manage certain affairs during this period. This section explains why the power of attorney is being created. In this example, the reason is an overseas military deployment. You should state the actual reason, such as deployment, military training, temporary assignment, relocation, or another period of unavailability. This section is important because it provides context for the document and explains why another person needs to act on your behalf. Legally, however, simply stating the reason does not give the agent authority. The actual powers must be specifically described in the next section. Section 2. Powers granted. This is one of the most important sections of the entire power of attorney because it explains exactly what the agent can do. The full sample is 2. Powers granted. I authorize my agent to act on my behalf with respect to the following matters. Financial matters. The agent is authorized to manage my checking account, ending in 2847 at First National Bank, make ordinary payments on my behalf, deposit funds, and withdraw funds as reasonably necessary to pay household expenses and obligations. Housing and property. The agent is authorized to communicate with my landlord and property manager, pay rent and utilities, arrange necessary maintenance, and manage ordinary residential matters relating to my apartment at 1847 Maple Ridge Drive, Alexandria, Virginia, 22314. Vehicle matters. The agent is authorized to maintain, insure, register, and renew registration for my 2021 Toyota Camry, Virginia license plate CAR2198. The agent is not authorized to sell or transfer ownership of the vehicle. Insurance and benefits. The agent is authorized to communicate with my automobile insurance company and other applicable insurance providers concerning my existing policies and to submit documents and handle routine administrative matters on my behalf. Government and administrative matters. The agent is authorized to communicate with relevant government agencies and complete routine administrative matters relating to my residence, vehicle registration, and other affairs specifically identified in this power of attorney. Legal and contractual matters. The agent is authorized to communicate with my landlord and service providers concerning existing agreements and to sign routine documents necessary to maintain those agreements, but is not authorized to enter into new loans or dispose of my major assets. Other authorized matters. The agent is authorized to receive ordinary mail on my behalf and handle routine household administrative matters during my deployment. The authority granted under this document is limited to the matters expressly stated above, unless otherwise provided by applicable law. This section should be completed with great care. For financial matters, specify which accounts or financial responsibilities the agent can handle. For housing and property, identify the particular property and explain what the agent can do. For vehicle matters, identify the vehicle and clearly state whether the agent can register, insure, maintain, purchase, or sell it. For insurance and benefits, explain what communications or administrative actions the agent is authorized to perform. For government matters, identify the type of administrative business the agent can handle. For legal and contractual matters, be especially specific because these powers can have significant consequences. Finally, include any additional authorized matters that are actually necessary. The final sentence is also extremely important. The authority granted under this document is limited to the matters expressly stated above, unless otherwise provided by applicable law. This reinforces that the agent's authority is not automatically unlimited. Legally, specific wording matters. A power of attorney should not grant broader authority than the service member actually intends to give. Section 3. Limitations on authority. The full sample is 3. Limitations on authority. My agent may not sell, transfer, gift, or otherwise dispose of my real estate, investment accounts, or other major assets, and may not enter into new loans or incur substantial financial obligations in my name. The agent shall act in my best interests and within the authority granted by this document and applicable law. This section establishes what the agent is prohibited from doing. Here, we specifically prevent the agent from selling major assets, creating new loans, or taking on substantial financial obligations. This is important because a power of attorney should not only explain what the agent can do, but also what the agent cannot do. Legally, clearly written limitations can help reduce the risk of unauthorized actions. The agent must stay within the authority granted by the document and applicable law. Section 4. Effective date and duration. The full sample is 4. Effective date and duration. This power of attorney shall become effective on September 1, 2026, and shall remain in effect until March 1, 2027, unless revoked earlier in accordance with applicable law. If applicable, this power of attorney is intended to remain effective during my military deployment or period of absence from Alexandria, Virginia. This section establishes when the power of attorney begins and when it ends. Here, the document becomes effective on September 1, 2026, and expires on March 1, 2027. You should use the dates that actually apply to your situation. This is legally important because the agent's authority generally depends on the effective period established by the document and applicable law. Section 5. Revocation. The full sample is 5. Revocation. I reserve the right to revoke this power of attorney at any time, subject to applicable law. Any revocation should be provided to the agent and other relevant parties in the appropriate written form. This section explains that the principal retains the right to revoke the power of attorney, subject to applicable law. Revocation means cancelling the authority previously granted to the agent. This is important because circumstances can change. For example, you may return from deployment, no longer need assistance, or decide that another person should handle your affairs. Legally, revocation should be handled according to the applicable requirements, and relevant organizations may need to be notified. Section 6. Reliance on this power of attorney. The full sample is 6. Reliance on this power of attorney. Any person, institution, business, government agency, or other entity may rely on this power of attorney to the extent permitted by applicable law. A copy of this document may be presented as evidence of the agent's authority. This section explains that third parties may rely on the power of attorney when legally permitted. For example, the agent may need to present the document to a bank, insurance company, landlord, government agency, or business. This section is important because it explains how the agent can demonstrate their authority. However, the phrase "to the extent permitted by applicable law" is important. Organizations may have their own procedures for verifying a power of attorney, and not every organization is required to accept every document without additional requirements. Section 7. Governing law. The full sample is 7. Governing law. This power of attorney shall be governed by the laws of Virginia, together with any applicable military or federal laws and regulations. This section identifies the law that governs the document. In this example, Virginia law is identified. This can be especially important when the service member, agent, property, and organizations involved are located in different states. Because military personnel may also be subject to applicable federal and military requirements, the appropriate rules should be verified before executing the document. Section 8. Principals Declaration. The full sample is 8. Principals Declaration. I, Michael James Carter, declare that I understand the nature and effect of this power of attorney and that I am voluntarily granting the authority described in this document. I confirm that I am executing this document while legally competent to do so and intend for it to have full legal effect to the extent permitted by applicable law, principal or service member. Signature, full legal name, Michael James Carter. Rank/grade, Captain, Branch of Military, United States Army. Date, September 1st, 2026. This is the service member's formal declaration. The principal confirms that they understand the document and are voluntarily granting the stated authority. The signature, full legal name, rank, military branch, and date are then provided. This section is legally important because it records the principal's intention to create the power of attorney. The statement concerning legal competence is also important because the person granting the authority generally needs the legal capacity required to execute the document. Section 9. Agent's Acknowledgement. The full sample is 9. Agent's Acknowledgement. I, Sarah Elizabeth Carter, acknowledge that I have been appointed as attorney in fact, or agent under this power of attorney. I understand the responsibilities associated with acting on behalf of the principal and agree to act within the authority granted by this document. Signature, full legal name, Sarah Elizabeth Carter. Date, September 1st, 2026. This section is completed by the agent. The agent acknowledges the appointment and confirms that they understand their responsibilities. This is important because acting as an attorney in fact carries serious responsibilities. The agent must act within the authority granted and comply with applicable law. Section 10. Witnesses. The full sample is 10. Witnesses. Witness 1. Signature, full legal name, Robert Allen Davis. Address, 4207 Oakwood Lane, Arlington, Virginia, 22203. Date, September 1st, 2026. Witness 2. Signature, full legal name, Jennifer Marie Wilson. Address, 913 Cedar Avenue, Falls Church, Virginia, 22046. Date, September 1st, 2026. This section provides space for witnesses to sign the document. If witnesses are required under the applicable law or required by the specific form being used, their information should be completed accurately. Witness requirements can vary depending on the jurisdiction and type of power of attorney, so you should not assume that every power of attorney requires two witnesses. Legally, witnesses can provide evidence that the document was properly executed, but the exact requirements should be verified before signing. Section 11. Notary or authorized official. The final section is the notary or authorized official section. The full sample is 11. Notary or authorized official. Subscribed and acknowledged before me by Michael James Carter on September 1st, 2026. Signature of notary or authorized official. Name, Patricia Ann Miller. Title, Notary Public. Commission or authorization number, 7845216. Expiration date, November 30th, 2029. Official seal or stamp. This section is completed by the appropriate notary or authorized official. The official confirms that the service member appeared before them and acknowledged the document. The official then provides their signature, name, title, commission or authorization number, where applicable, expiration date where applicable, and official seal or stamp. This can be a very important part of the execution process. However, notarization and witness requirements can vary depending on the jurisdiction, type of power of attorney, and military circumstances. Legal considerations. Because this document gives another person authority to act on your behalf, do not treat it like an ordinary form. The exact requirements for a power of attorney can vary by state and by the circumstances in which the document will be used. Some banks, government agencies, and other institutions may also have specific requirements for accepting a power of attorney. For military personnel, it can be particularly useful to verify the document through an appropriate military legal assistance office or qualified legal professional before signing. Make sure the powers are specific, the limitations are clear, the effective period is correct, and all required execution procedures are completed. So that's how you write a power of attorney step by step. Make sure you carefully identify the principal and agent. Clearly define every power being granted, establish appropriate limitations and duration, and complete the required signatures, witnesses, and notary or authorized official procedures. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to Writing Practices, and share this video with anyone who may find it useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.